folks, welcome back to the channel. Nothing about nothing. Today we're going to be canning some raspberry jam. So, never done this before, we're going to be learning together. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, so we have here all of our supplies and ingredients. We have some pectin for making jam. We're going to be doing the canned water bath variety. We have our jar grabbing tool, filling funnel, lid grabber, and air bubble remover. Enough jars, lids, and bands for the job. Plenty of raspberries, some sugar, and the canner. So I just wanted to show the recipe real quick here for the cooked raspberry jam. 4 cups of crushed raspberries, 6.5 cups of sugar, the pectin, and 5 to 8 half-pint jars. So you could probably use larger jars if you like, but we'll be using the half pints today. Alright, so we're going to rinse out these berries, make sure we get rid of any, leaves, sticks, bugs, etc., bad raspberries that maybe aren't worth keeping in there. So we'll get that done, and then we'll just dry them up a bit. Not too much, doesn't really matter. So we'll set those aside and we'll move on to prepping the jars and lid and canner. So next step will be getting the jars and lids ready. From what I've read, and again I'm learning here, modern stuff, if you water bath it for more than 10 minutes, you don't really have to pre-sterilize. The main thing you want to worry about is making sure your jars are clean and your lids are clean, and your jars are warm when you're ready to put the fruit into them. So we'll fill up the water bath, we'll get that boiling, we'll wash up the jars and lids, and then we should be ready to start making jam. Alright, so we're going to fill up our water bath and get that heating up because we'll need that to be at boiling temperature for the canning process. Okay, so we got it on the stove. We're using an electric stove, so we're using the largest burner on the electric stove, and we're going to turn it up all the way to high. These electric stoves tend not to put off enough heat, so crank it all the way up and get it going. While that's heating up, we'll wash the jars and the lids in soap and water. And we'll set the lids aside, and then we'll put the jars into the water bath to warm up. I have a rack in there, and they'll just sit on top of the rack and warm. Just going to gently rest these in here so that they stay warm while the water bath comes to a boil. And then when we're done making the jam mix, we'll take them out carefully and fill them up with jam. You can see the water is just below the jars. I think the guitar should be alright. We're just getting a lot of steam going in there, getting them nice and hot. We're just going to pre-measure out the sugar here so we have that ready to go and dump in when our mixture gets to a boil. So 6 1/2 cups. That's a lot of sugar. Boy, I hope we have enough. Otherwise we gotta use brown sugar too.
You were counting, right?
Yeah, I think that's good. What's the worst that can happen? Good enough for this project.
Holy sugar.
Alright. Next step is to get your berries either in a bowl or in a pan. We're going to mash them up here. Careful. I know some people like to get the seeds out of raspberries because they like their jam a little bit smoother. Oh, look, you missed one.
That one's for eating. Mine.
Okay. Scalpel. Alright.
That raspberry goodness.
Take the pan over to the stove. And we'll add in the pectin, bring it to a boil. Once it's boiled, we'll add the sugar, bring it to a boil once again for about a minute. I think that'd be good. And then it'll be ready to can.
And we're using liquid pectin. They make powder pectin, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't know nothing about making jam.
You don't know nothing about pectin.
It's true. when we're ready to add the sugar. Okay, she's boiling. Time to add the sweet sugar. That just seems like a lot of sugar. We'll get it all mixed up here. We'll bring it to a boil again. And then we'll put it in the jars. Set a timer for 1 minute. Okay, turn off the heat. Move it off the burner and over to the counter. Next we're going to get the jars out here. They should be good and warm. You want to do that to avoid them cracking when you put the hot jam liquid into them and then put them into the bath. So you get them to a nice warm temperature on their own. So the instructions say remove foam from the top of the jam liquid before pouring into the jar. So we'll just see if there's a lot in there. We'll take it out. I don't know, what do you think? Yeah?
I don't know nothing about making raspberry jam.
Let's skim it off, I guess. So again, we have 8 half-pint jars. You could use, obviously, 4 full-pint jars or 2 quarts, at that matter. I think we might have more than 8 half-pints, but we'll see. If we have extra, we'll put it into, use your sieve there, the funnel, so you don't get the lids, the top of them. As I say, if we have any extra, we'll just put it in a other jar and put it in the fridge and eat it right away. Want to fill your jars about 1 inch from the top. Usually there's a band around the jar that I always go to. This seems to be working for me. After we're done filling them here, you just wipe off the rim of the jar on the top there, put your lid on, and screw the lid down on it. Oh, almost forgot. We're going to have to make sure we remove all air bubbles too before we put the lids on. So that's the last step before lidding. Should probably clean the bubbles out before we wipe the tops off them too, I think. Alright, so that's 8 half pints full, and we still have, oh, I don't know, probably close to a quart. Oh. So I guess our recipe was way off. Yeah, we can just pour it in right from the pan here. That's good. That's good. Yeah, a little over half, so that's a pint. So we were 2 half-pint jars short. Okay, so now we'll remove the air bubbles, clean the tops of them, and then lid and band them. Should just take the wand and just circle around the outside of the jar a few times with the flat edge of the blade and just circle around. Use a clean towel and wipe off the top rim of your jar so that the lid has a nice clean mating surface to the glass. Generally they don't get too dirty unless you're real sloppy with putting in the ingredients, whatever that may be. Alright, now we'll hand tighten down the bands. Try to keep the lid in place. Makes it easier on yourself if you got the lid centered. As you can see, we got them in the water bath, and now we carefully lower the jars into the water bath. They don't want to rock and tip over on you, so you just got to go slow. Same when we pull them back out. So you want about an inch over the top of the jars. This for under 1,000 feet elevation, which we are. And it looks okay. I might add a little bit of water. Good. So we'll let that get to a boil. I like to boil it anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. You really don't want to go longer than that, and 10 is pretty much the minimum. Like I said earlier, you don't need to sterilize your jars if you go more than 10 minutes. Anything less than that, you got to sterilize your jars beforehand. So. We'll come back when she's boiling. We got our jam helper with us too. Say hi, Java. Hi, Java. Hi. Yeah. We're making some jam. Yeah.
And what's the difference if it's freezer jam?
Alright, we are boiling. So set a timer for 10 minutes. It's probably been boiling for a couple minutes already, so set it for 10 and we'll be right back. That's the buzzer. Shut off the heat. This is my least favorite part of taking cans out of the water bath, is getting them up and out. So I'll try something new today. I'm just going to try and dig right in here. So we'll leave those sit for anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. They're small jars, so they'll cool pretty fast, I think. And then what we like to do is remove the bands and just leave them with the lids, and they hold a pretty good seal. You know, you'll want to check after they cool down if you can depress any of them. They didn't seal, and you should put them in your fridge and try to eat them right away. So make sure you do that. And we'll see you guys tomorrow when they're all cold. Alright folks, you can see it's the next day and everything's cooled down, and check these and they've all got a good seal. So we'll put those away in storage, or maybe some nice gifts. But if you guys like the content, keep watching, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.